Yeah!
It's Josh Williams here, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 29 for Wednesday, November 29th, 2017. How are you guys? Welcome, my listeners. Welcome, new listeners. Welcome, old listeners. This week, we're going to talk about the week I spent doing promotion for PlayStation VR. I had some shows last week. We had a big Black Friday weekend. I'm sure you guys got all sorts of cool stuff. I'll read your emails. And so we can just jump right into it. Last week, the vast majority of my time, many days that were 14 plus hours, I was doing PlayStation VR demos at Bayshore Mall in my hometown of Ottawa, Ontario. Obviously, it was a big push for Black Friday weekend. Sony had deals on their PlayStation 4s, PlayStation 4 Pros, PlayStation virtual reality helmets, all sorts of stuff, as well as every company, of course, having sales and shit like that. I hope you guys survived the weekend. If maybe went online and got some sales or whatnot. I was in a mall all week, and that's you see some things in malls, right? I mean, like I don't even want to say, go into too much about the demo itself, because I mean I already did that in September, and if you guys were listening, I told you sort of what it was like. It was a very cool experience, getting to play some virtual reality games. I had fun. Mainly, I want to talk about kind of some of the things I saw in the malls while I was there. Of course, I picked up a few things for Black Friday, the sales and whatnot. Like, for example, the first part of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was at the mall. I was really lucky, too, because I was mentioning in the last episode that I had to get my snow tires done. I didn't have a chance to do that. And Tuesday morning, while I was at Bayshore, Jason called me and was like, hey, I need you to move your car. Where's your keys? And I told him where my spare set was, and because he was changing his tires to winters. And I said, hey, man, can you do mine while you're at it? And he said, sure. So, booyah, free tire change in my driveway while I was at work. That was a great thing. So thank you so much, Jason, for doing that for me. That was a huge bonus and a great kickoff to my week. As you can hear in my voice, I'm doing much better, but still not fully recovered. So I think the entire month of November, every podcast I put out has not been my actual voice. It's been some sort of derivative, a filtered version of it, if you will. What can I say about the week? I saw a lot of things that were, I saw a lot of things that bothered me. So for starters, the mall that I work in is predominantly pregnant or new mothers. So lots and lots and lots of people walking by me, like carriage after carriage. I don't even know how to describe it. If any of my listeners listening anywhere else in the country, we're talking like little 18-year-olds walking around with their babies, the toddler and then the baby and then a pregnant belly. Like, this was people, like, it looked like everyone was out to beat everyone else's record of how many kids they could have. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like, the mall itself has numerous, strollers, like rental strollers or whatever, like little, like fire trucks. And let's put it this way. They had fire trucks there that were like 3 deep. Like when you see a mother pushing like a little baby carriage that's got room for 3 babies, you're like, oh wow, that's a deluxe model. That's a baby limousine right there. Well, this mall had at least 50 of these on hand at any given time. The 3 fire truck model of kids. Then they had these like electronic drive them around yourself, stuffed animal kind of things. I don't even know how to try it. Like, think of a rocking horse that has wheels that you control by holding onto the handles. And then it's plush. They had these things all over the mall, lions and tigers and bears and puppies and all sorts of things like that. And there were just people driving around all the time. Like, so the hallways were jam-packed with pregnant mothers and babies and strollers and little kids driving around on these things. And, I don't hate kids. I had a great time. Like, there's lots of little kids chatting with me that I loved. It warmed my heart to talk with these little fellas, and especially since we couldn't put anybody under 12 years old in the VR helmet. So it kind of sucked because we had a lot of children that we were saying, sorry, you can't try this. But yeah, I was loving talking with the kids, but I am a bit of a guy who's kind of like, you know what? We got enough fucking people on the planet already. You know what I mean? So when I just see these, They look like brood mares to me, where they just child after child after child, and just more like, yeah, more people. It's like, fuck off, you know? Have a kid. You want to have a kid? Have a kid. And then stop. Stop. 1. Funnel 2 down to 1. These people who are walking around, I swear to God, I can't. Okay, so I don't know if I've ever said this before in the podcast, but anger comes from fear, right? So I'm mad about it because I'm afraid that there's just too many of us on the planet. There's too many. I don't like seeing more and more units coming, right? Is rush hour not fucking long enough already, guys? Right? Do we really, do these people really need to be having, like, we're talking pushing 3 toddlers in a stroller and pregnant. Like, oh, another one on the way. You know what I mean? Like, enough is enough. Anyways, that was something that irked me through the week. And that was just something, you know, like I said, all these people are very nice. I'm sure everybody's nice human beings. Just no more fucking kids. Stop. Have 1, funnel 2 down to 1. And there you go. And then your kid can fuck someone else's kid, funnel 2 down to 1. Let's fucking bring this back around. And I'll tell you in a second. That might relate to something I'll tell you guys later on. But that was one of the things that bothered me. Another thing that bothered me happened, I think, a couple days into the event, was near, late afternoon one day. So we were there from 8:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m. till about 10:30 p.m. every day. So we were working like 14-hour days. Some days we were there at 7 o'clock in the morning, didn't leave till 11. So we had long days. And we worked full shifts, ourselves. We had very little coverage. So, we were there and we were on our feet for the time. But one of the days near late afternoon, this little kid, came with his mom, and he started playing one of the games, at one of the stations that we had. It was PlayStation 4 Pro. There was no VR helmet, so he was able to play. He was playing the new Star Wars game. Very cool game, very exciting. And he was there for quite a while. And then that quite a while became several hours. And, now it's like 6, 7 o'clock at night, and we're going, hey, little dude, where's your mom? And he's like, I don't know. She hasn't come back yet. So Becky, the superhero of last time, and who was a goodness superhero this time, was like, do you know your mom's phone number? He goes, yeah, but he didn't have a phone. So Becky let him use her cell phone. I found this out afterwards. Hey, here's the cell phone. Give your mom a call. And he called his mom because this kid, like, let's put it this way. This kid was like, I have to go to the bathroom and I don't know if I'm allowed to. And his mom hadn't come back to check on him. It's not like she was checking on him periodically. It's not like he had his cell phone. This was a young little dude, 7, 8 years old. And, our heart went out to him because we're like, where's your mom? And I remember at the end of the day, like, we're getting ready to close up. We even told her, like, look, we're closed here at 9:45. And 9:45 rolled around. His mom still was not back. Like, we're talking, she left her kid there with us for like 5, 6 hours, did not check on him. The only reason we spoke to her at all was because Becky let him use her phone. She did not come back to check on him. That really irked me. And it's probably for the best that when she finally came to get him at the end of the day, I wasn't there. I think I was helping grab some of our equipment and whatnot. Because I would have had words with her. I think that's really uncool. I'm sure a lot of people listening, I don't usually jump down parents' throats for simple shit. Like, we all make mistakes, but I'm sorry, when you leave your kid somewhere for 6 hours in a busy mall on a weekend like that, where your kid can get snatched up, he has no way to communicate with you, and you have no interest in checking in on him to make sure he's still where you left him. Bitch, you don't deserve to have kids, If it was 2 parents, I would have been a little more, anti-guy on that, but this was a mom who just left her fucking kid, Anyways, that also bothered me. What is this? Me just fucking complaining podcast? I'm not trying to be like this, guys. I'm just saying I had a great week and had a lot of fun. But I think the only things that stood out to me, right, some things that irked me in the week was, like I said, way too many more human beings on the way. The ones who had little human beings were leaving them behind to be neglected. And then the last thing that fucking bothered me was we were positioned right outside of an EB Games, which was great for our promo, great for moving units. Apparently we sold the entire EB Games that we were outside of. We sold them out of VR helmets and PlayStation systems. So we did an outstanding job promoting and marketing. So super glad to say that. But we were also across the hall. So we were right in the middle of the hall, by the way. Our station was in the middle of the hall. We had stores on either side. The other side, we had a pet store called Pet World. And I remember one of the days, fuck it, I'm just going to say how I feel about it because I don't feel good. So just know my anger is coming from a place of upset. This fucking woman who was wandering back and forth throughout the hall that day with like Victoria's Secret shopping bags and stuff like that. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't give a fuck about that. But it's just this like airheady kind of, trophy wife kind of walking around with her Victoria's Secret bag and her Godiva bag and her Swarovski bag, like all the shit you don't fucking need, right? At the end of the day, who gives a fuck? Spend your money the way you want. But all the shit you don't need, trophy wife, I didn't have anything against her. She's out having a great day. No problem. Until she walks by the pet store with her boyfriend, who's clearly purchasing her, all right? There was no, oh yes, this short, bald, hobbit-looking man definitely deserves this trophy wife based purely on his, I don't know, look, I'm just being a piece of shit right now. I'm mad at both of them, okay? So what happens? They walk by the pet store and she goes, oh my God, look at the kitties. Oh my God, they're so pretty. Can I have one? And her husband's like, if you want one, baby, I'll get one for you. And then they proceeded to buy a cat. Just like that. Impulse purchase, saw the cat, bought it from pet store. Pet store didn't ask any questions like, hey, so what kind of lifestyle do you have that would maybe incorporate a new animal into it or whatever? Like, they bought the fucking thing. It's not cute. It's a life, for Christ's sakes. This woman did it was so infuriating. They stuck it in a fucking box, guys. Like, imagine opening a box with toilet paper in it, like the big cardboard box that you ship that shit in. And they just took it. The pet store people took it and stuck it in a cardboard box and handed it to them. And they go walking down the hall and she's like, I love my new kitty. And I'm like the impulse purchase. I fucking hate pet stores. I hate pet stores. It's bullshit. They don't take good care of the animals. At least none of the pet stores I've ever seen. And the fact that people just go in there and there was like a big sign up front saying like Black Friday prices on all of our animals. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course, because their lives are worth less this weekend, right? Why not discount another things? Anyways, it wasn't the only time I saw that this week either. I saw a kid walk by and go, Mommy, can I have a puppy? And she goes, okay, but it's going to be your Christmas present. And that was it. That was it. Not, do you agree to walk it? You have to take care of it. You have to feed him. It's a lot of, none of that. Just, okay, but that's going to be your Christmas present. Okay. All right. Which one do you want? Like nothing. No asking questions. No. And I'm even the mother like, oh, so how do we, what should we do? What kind of breed? Nothing. Nothing. So that shit pissed me off. More fucking people, right? Let's get fucking pregnant, add more fucking people to the world. Let's ignore them when they come here. And if they get excited for another fucking life that doesn't have a choice, let's just sell it to them. And then if it gets run over, whatever, who cares? I don't know. Those were the things that bothered me this week. And I really didn't mean to go right into them off the top and just make that about all it is, but bothersome. I know you guys don't tune in to listen to me, bitch. Maybe you do. That seems to be all I do. But aside from those frustrations, it was a really fun week with a really great, solid team. Okay. The team was fucking amazing. Marvin was outstanding, our guy in charge. So thank you very much, Marvin, if you're listening. My buddy Dave, I got to work with my buddy Dave, which is a great thing. So much fun to work with Dave. He's a good friend. We have good laughs. We get along great together. So the long days were made better by the fact that I was with a friend. So, I'm glad to have spent the time with him. We got on each other's nerves a little bit too, but it was fun. It was fun working with him. Like I said, Becky was outstanding. My buddy Nick Burden, who introduced me to this company, he was great. And then we had a few days where we brought some other people in, like for example, well, I'll get to that a little later on. Friday, I had agreed, because you guys know how my thing is with the Source. I had agreed to the Source that I would work Black Friday for them. I took the entire week off for this. But I agreed to give them Black Friday. So I get up Friday morning. It's my one day in between that I'm not going to be at, the PlayStation thing. And I go out to the driveway and my car won't start. And, it's like 7 o'clock, like not even, it's like 6:30 in the morning because I have to be at the store for 7. And, oh, this was ridiculous. Sorry. Had some stuck in my teeth there. It's like, I'm trying to remember how early. Yeah, I had to be in Orleans for 7 o'clock in the morning because everything opens like 8 o'clock on Black Friday. Walk out to the driveway, my car won't start. I just get like a would not start. And I'm thinking, shit, the battery's dead. I had a lot of problems with my battery before. I go get my booster out of the trunk, right? Because I'm prepared for this shit. I get my booster out of the back. It's just a battery with the 2 cables on it. And I start charging this thing, right? Thinking it's going to start, and it doesn't start. And that's when I noticed after a couple times trying, right? Giving it 5 minutes, giving it 10 minutes, after a few times trying that all the lights in the car are on. The dash is coming on, the radio's coming on. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like I've had my battery die before where I go to turn, it just goes, like nothing's going on. The dash lights up a little bit and it just goes off. And I go, oh shit, the battery's dead. I go, all the lights are on. Battery's making shit work in this car. But whatever's going on with the engine, don't know. And I've said before on the podcast, guys, I don't fuck all about cars. So I'm calling the dealership going like, what could it be? And they're like, oh, I don't know, bring it in. And I go, it's fucking Black Friday and I was supposed to be at work 20 minutes ago. Like, what, like, is there anything that you can tell me? And luckily I called my buddy Mika, good dude. I knew he'd be up and at work. So I gave Mika a call and he had said that, it could be because it was cold. It could be because it was cold and sometimes condensation get in the engine. And if your gas is low, it can cause some issues. Well, I hadn't drove the car in, 3 days because Dave and I were carpooling to the PlayStation event in the morning. So I hadn't used the car in a few days. The snow had come and it got very cold. And so I was like, yeah. And my tank was pretty empty. Like the gas light was effectively on. So he said, you might just need to warm it up effectively. Like just keep trying it. And after a few times, waiting a few minutes and whatnot, like, cause every time I tried it, it would sound like it was getting a little further, it was making a little more noise. It finally came on. First thing I did, went and filled up the gas and made it to work for 8 o'clock. So it was an hour late on Black Friday. I basically walked in when they opened the doors and the sales that we had at the Source. I think I told you guys last week, we were selling $400 Beats Studio headphones for $200. So 50% off Beats headphones. We had all sorts of goofy things around the stores, deals on cell phones, all sorts of cool shit. Very lucrative day for me. So spending my day at the Source, that was the best day I've ever had there because it was just customer after customer. People were looking for things. The whole team was working good. We were banging shit out. And I can say sincerely that I made money at the Source that day. It was worth my while to be there. I worked a full 12-hour shift there, left at 7 p.m. I don't know what the fuck I did with the rest of my day. I think I went to Costco just to see what they had. Yeah, I mean, it was a good day. I really can't complain at all. Like that day really made me think, you know what? If every day could be like this, the Source, maybe it'd be worthwhile staying. So, I had a great day on Friday. No complaints. Saturday, back to PlayStation VR. Another great day, right? Hanging out with friends, letting people try VR. It was very cool to just, different experience than Rito. It was a different clientele, right? Instead of homeless people and teenagers, we had pregnant moms and some elderly. And the elderly were a lot of fun. I posted a video on Instagram, if you guys are curious, of an older French woman freaking out at a shark attack in virtual reality. She screams. I thought I'd throw that up there for you guys. You can have a quick laugh at that. So that's on the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And then Saturday night, I had a show for a gentleman named Mario, who may or may not listen to this podcast. But it was his birthday, and Mario's been going through some tough times lately. He had a couple injuries, a few years back that sort of prevented him from being as active and as sporty as he likes. And then he recently got a really bad diagnosis, health diagnosis, and I'll leave it at that. So this was his 30th birthday party, or 31st. I think it was the 31st, because usually you don't have a big party on your, usually you don't have a big party on your 31st, right? It makes sense to do it on the 30th, but I remember there were being the number was off. So I'm like, oh, it's odd that you would have like everyone, and have a comedy show and everything like that on this particular numbered year. But Went out to his place out of town, and we actually did the show in his home in the basement. They set the entire basement up like a comedy club. They had the front available. I got to work with Brendan McKeegan. Him and I did like a tandem, rather than one goes after the other. We did this like 2-man roast show where we just roasted, all him and his 40 friends that were there. I think there's probably more than 40 people, might have been 50, 60 people, but it was a great experience. I wish I had taken a picture of the room all said and done, but it had been such a long day, and I'm sorry for that. But it was a fun show. We picked on him, we picked on his wife, we picked on his friends, his family. He'd recently got engaged as well, so we were sort of listening to, how did he propose? It turned out he proposed in a pumpkin patch, and his sister, who was supposed to be filming it, never ended up getting it because she was crying so hard she couldn't fucking film it properly. But it was a really fun show. I had a great time at that show. It was nice. Again, little break. Good to do comedy again. I had a really good time just doing my thing, sharing the laughs. So, I didn't have a whole hell of a lot last week, just due to the fact that I was just day in and day out at the PlayStation thing. Just every day was starting to be very much the same. Made good money, but not a lot of variety. Sunday was just, morning till close, PlayStation VR. Everyone said their goodbyes, had a great time. And thank you. And everyone, I think on Sunday, I ended up getting a PlayStation VR like last day sale off of Amazon or something like that, just because it had been a fun week. So yeah, I got one, and I'll tell you guys how I like that, once it comes and I get to actually try it out and see if it's something that I like. This was the analogy that I used, because a lot of people were saying, oh, I like it, but I wonder if you can play it for a long time and this and that. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I've been playing these demos for, 5-minute demos, little movies and things like that, things that were designed to be 5-minute demos, and I like them, and they're a lot of fun, and it seems like the kind of thing I'd want to play for hours. But here's the thing. This was the analogy I used. I said, is it going to be like, Doritos or Cheetos? You can have like 1 or 2 cheesies or Doritos or something like that, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. But if you have like a bowl of them, you're like, after a little while, you're like, your fingers get the gross fake cheese crusted on them, and you start to just taste like that gross synthetic cheese mush, and you're like, this is gross. That's the thing. I can eat like 2 Doritos and be like, they're amazing. I can eat 10 Doritos and be like, these are gross. So that's my thoughts on the PlayStation VR. Well, I put this fucking thing on my head and be like, oh, it's fun for 5 minutes. And then 30 minutes later go, okay, I get it. I'm bored. Take this thing off me. So that's my thoughts on my new purchase. Once I get it, I'll give you guys a proper review and whether or not I suggest it. But that's what my Black Friday purchase was for the most part. Yesterday, so as usual, I'm recording this on Tuesday. Yesterday, I was my first day not getting up at the crack of dawn to do a promotion. So I slept in. And once I got up and shook the cobwebs off, it was, probably noon. Started talking to my brother, Cyber Monday, right? Everyone's getting emails about, hey, just because you don't want to go out doesn't mean you can't spend money, right? Come on Cyber Monday. See all the sales that you saw this weekend, only they're just online this time. All right, come on. There's more stuff you want to buy. Just click here. Click here and see what Amazon has. Click here and see what Bed Bath & Beyond has. Click here for the last minute Home Depot sales. So anyways, my brother, it's so funny. Like the day after Black Friday weekend's over, he messages me in the morning and goes, so what do you want for Christmas? And I go, the day after Black Friday. So I started chatting with him, and one of the things that he wanted me to do was to change a light at his house. So he's like, that's what you can get me for Christmas. I need this light changed. And so I agreed, but then I'm like, you know what? I don't want this thing looming over me for weeks now, and he wants it done before the holidays. So I just bit the bullet yesterday, went to Home Depot, looked around to find something that would suit them. Oh, and like a good big brother, I drove to his house and I installed the light, took down the old one, installed the new one. Got him a nice big bright one with LED bulbs, right? Keep the hydro costs low, keep those bad boys burning bright a long time. So I did that. I got to check out more of his board game collection, and I know for any of you guys who are bored with me talking about board games, I will not go into it. I will just say his collection is vast, his knowledge is extensive, and his passion for it is sickening. No, it's he's very, very into that stuff. So good on him. I'm enjoying, like I said, the stuff too, playing the fucking board games and whatnot. So he's he's going to pick out something good and get that. Excuse me. Wow. Still haven't caught up on my rest, but he's going to get that for, get me something fun, board game wise for Christmas. I leave that in his hands and I'm looking forward to it. And that's kind of how the week went. You know, like it's Tuesday. I did have an appointment with my doctor, second time seeing him. I may as well share that news with you guys now. Saw the doctor today and he's like, all right, let's talk about blood test results. Cause I did not end up getting my ultrasound just yet. It's been busy. I'm not trying to make excuses or anything like that. It is just been a busy, a couple of weeks with everything going on at all the stores and whatnot. So I wasn't able to make an appointment work. I tried a few different places. They didn't have anything that was available. Every one of them wanted to give me last week with the PlayStation stuff. So I just couldn't do it. But I did get the blood test done and, it turns out that I have diabetes, or at least I am tightrope walking the zones of the results. So apparently there was two different sections where he goes, there's like, don't have diabetes, pre-diabetes, diabetes. And he goes, in one of the sections, you are pre-diabetes, and one of the other sections, you are diabetes. So he's like, I'm inclined to say that you basically probably have, diabetes, but he didn't prescribe anything. It's not like it's something that, is in the zone where we have to treat it yet. So he goes, dude, if you lose the weight, you probably lose the diabetes too. So I am, that's, more important than ever. My weight loss is now, not just cosmetic and, comfort, but also, we're pulling it back. We got to go the opposite way. So if I get some weight loss and start, taking better care of myself, like real care, I could probably, reverse this. And that's what I was referring to with all the fucking people, 2 down to 1. All right. Enough people. Let's stop giving the planet human diabetes. All right. Let's start lowering these fucking numbers, get it to a manageable, sustainable level. So that's what I'm working on, losing weight and not keeping diabetes. I am perfectly happy to have the trial diabetes, this fatigue, constant thirst, tingling feelings in my extremities. Not interested, will not renew my 14-day week, whatever trial. Let's just not renew that shit. So I'm going to work hard to make sure that it does not stick around. And that was my day. I spoke with the doctor. He checked the pain in my side that I've had for years. He was able to find the location almost immediately. And then, with his, hands, putting them all over my body. He was able to track the different areas where sort of the pain for me was going. And I didn't even have to guide him. I wasn't even trying to. He just found, he goes, is it sore here? Yeah. And then he would feel down and I would just feel that area where the pain was. And he'd go, and here as well. I go, yeah, it's traveling right down that way. And then he'd go back and go a different way with different issues and go down here as well. I go, yeah. So it's basically like he was able to find the paths without me saying it, which felt huge because, again, over the course of the years, so the other doctors I've had, they've acted like it wasn't a thing. Like they didn't find anything. There's nothing there. And so the fact that he was able to find it, he was able to track the areas that it was affecting on his own. That was a huge win for me. And he was saying, how we gotta do the ultrasound first, but just different things with how the Canadian healthcare system works is that, you don't really, MRIs are expensive and they take a long time to get. And generally speaking, Health Canada doesn't, cover them or whatnot. They effectively don't let doctors just issue them all willy nilly. That's the short version. They don't want doctors issuing them willy nilly because it costs money to do. And if it's not life threatening, then what's the fucking point? But he said that they can still do it if they think that something is treatable. And he said, let's get some of the weight down, but I'm going to do the ultrasound and I'm going to send you for an MRI because I think this might be something that, we need to at least figure out what it is. But he said, because it's on the side of your body and it's between, like, he goes, basically right where it is on the side of your body, it's like skin, muscle, organs. It's thin layers. It's not a big area. It's not like there's bones and ribs and all this other stuff. It's like you're just skin, muscle, organs. So he also said I have fatty liver too, but that's a side thing. That goes down with the weight. So he's just like, yeah, you got to watch that too. But effectively, what he was saying was because he goes, that area, it's because it's also thin, the skin, muscle, organs, it's difficult to see, densely. He goes, like the ultrasound is like, we're probably not going to see anything. He goes, the MRI will show us. He goes, but the thing is just as hard as it is to see it. And then I saw where he was going with it, and I jumped and I go, it's just as hard to treat, right? And he goes, basically. And so I told him that at the end of the day, if we're able to figure out what it is, and I have at least an understanding of what it is, if there's nothing we can do, at least I'll have that. Because in all fairness, and I know I've got a lot of close personal friends that listen to this. The vast majority of you guys are close personal friends. You know what I mean? So, you've heard about this pain. You've heard about these issues I've been having for years now. This is not new information that I'm giving you. But I told my doctor, I'm like, the amount of times that I've like tried to help people move, or tried to help someone with a task, or just perform regular lifting and carrying and shit like that, and then very quickly, gotten tight feelings in my sides or muscle spasms or things like that because of whatever's going on in my side. I'm like, it's been embarrassing. And every fat fucker, because that's what I call myself, every fat fucker is like walking around going, oh, I can't do it, I got a problem, and I'm late. Like I feel like a lot of us, and maybe I'm being the same towards others that people have been to me, but I just know that, a big person starts doing something physical and then starts going, oh, I can't, I'm hurting and whatever. It just looks like them being lazy or fucking bailing. And for me, like, I always had the intention of doing the things that I want to do. There's been a million projects for myself that I've wanted to do, that I start and I undertake. And then, 5-10 minutes in, my side gets so tight that I can't move, I can't turn, I can't bend, and I'm fucking done. Even stuff with Crystal, we're putting things up or building something, and just out of nowhere, right? Even yard work. That's what I'm saying, is like the amount of jobs and things where I committed to something, and then during the task, my body would not let me finish, would not let me continue. Even if we can't fix what's wrong with me, to be able to find out what it is and what it was, it vindicates me in a way. Just to be able to be like, look, I wasn't full of shit all those years. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if I've got a torn muscle or nerve damage or something like that, like, I wasn't fucking around. Like, I wanted to do the things that I committed to. I wanted to do the tasks that I was undertaking. I just couldn't, And like I said, it wasn't that I would say no to shit. I would start doing things, and then my body would be limited, and it would stop, and it would tense up on me and tighten up, and basically lock up and prevent me from being able to do it. And I'd be out for the day. It felt like a Charlie horse running from just above my hip, right up under my ribs. And it would just pull me tight like you wouldn't believe. Anyways, long story short is the search is underway. I got a doctor who can feel that there's an issue with me. And, we're going to work on reversing the diabetes. For now, I'm not getting any medication for them, so that's a good thing. It's not so, dire that I'm now on meds or taking insulin shots, whatever. I forgot to ask him what type of diabetes. So I don't have that information. Someone was like, oh, type 1, type 2. I'm like, I don't know. Fat fuck diabetes. What kind is that? What type? The I crush pizzas at 2 a.m. diabetes. Not recently. Oh, and speaking of which, I don't know what the fattest thing I did all week is. I started that last week saying, I'm going to shame myself into losing weight by fessing up to the fattest thing that I've done all week. And this week, I think there wasn't really a lot of things, I mean, we were next to a Cinnabon, and the girls who worked there gave me this mini little Cinnabon, but I don't think eating a little Cinnabon is the fattest thing I did all week. It's not healthy, but yeah. And on a day where I didn't have a lunch, I'm like, that was a nice little treat. Not the fattest thing I did. Last night though, after my show, like on Monday night, I apologize, I forgot to mention it, is I got to perform at the Tartan Pub, which is a great absolute comedy room. It's out in Orleans, and it was a great show. Andrew Vaughn hosted. He did a great job. Greg Houston was on the show, B+, Rochelle Ali, and a new fella I'd never seen before, and I didn't remember his name, but he did very, very well, older guy. And then I closed it out. I headlined that show, had a great time, just shooting the shit with the audience, getting to know them. So many funny fucking people there. I got to tell you guys this. I was particularly proud of whatever part of my brain came up with this, because I certainly can't take credit for it. But there was one kid in the crowd who said he was in a band, and I go, "Oh, what's the name of your band?" And I thought I heard him say Duvet, and I was like, "Oh, why? Because you only do covers?" And I was like, "Oh." I didn't even hear it come out of my mouth. It just came right out of my fucking mouth. Oh, why? Because you only do covers? And then he goes, no, Dubai. And I was like, Dubai? Like Dubai, but Dubai? And he goes, yeah. And I go, why? He goes, oh, that's just me. It's me and my 4 brothers, or me and my 3 brothers, and that's just our last name. And I was like, oh, I think Duvet is a way fucking better name for a band. I just thought it was cool. That would be a cool name for a cover band, right? Duvet? Why? Because we do covers. But I had a great time at that show. It was a lot of fun. So the fattest thing I did all week was on that show. Now, yesterday with the installing the lights and the coming home and getting ready for my show and all that stuff, I did not eat. And that is a true story. I ate, egg whites. I had fried egg whites in the morning when I woke up around noon, and I did not eat all day. I had a piece of fish, at the tartan. They gave me a piece of like fish and chips, but just the fish part. I did not want the fries. I was trying to eat healthier. And then after the show, when we finally left at about 11 o'clock, I dropped Andrew Vaughn back off at the condo, and I got the little McDonald's notification on my phone, the snowflake that turned to blizzard, and it was like, get a sandwich for $3 or get an Angus sandwich for $5. And I was like, why choose? I'm not poor. So I drove to McDonald's and I got a quarter pounder and an Angus sandwich, and I ate both of those last night. So that's the fattest thing I did all week, was eating 2 McDonald's hamburgers in one sitting. And I got to tell you, they were delicious. Of course I regret it. It is a fat thing to do, having 2 hamburgers at 11 o'clock at night. Not good for me. But yeah, so there's that confession. So, of course, wake up the next day, go to the doctor, and goes, you got diabetes. And I'm like, yeah, I deserve it. That's kind of what happens when you eat shit in the middle of the night. So I went to Costco after I got that diagnosis, and I bought a fuckload of like veggies, fruits and veggies. So my friend Dave read a book called Eat to Live, and over the last year he has lost quite a lot of weight following a nutritional plan and lifestyle from that book. He's had a lot of success. He was with me today. He gave me a call and was like, "Hey, you going to Costco?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm going to Costco." It's a very magical place for us, very happy place to go. But he gets a lot of his produce and stuff like that, and because his diet requires that he eats so much produce and not really a whole lot else. Costco's kind of the best value place for that. So he said he was going. I told him what the doctor told me, and he goes, "All right, well, let's get you onto rabbit food." And so that's what we did. Bought a lot of stuff there, and then here I am at home doing the podcast. So that's where I'm at so far this week, guys. I don't know. I'm not upset or anything like that, but I mean, it's basically every time I got blood work done up until now, I expected that to be the diagnosis. Like the last doctor I had when I did blood work, we came back, she's like, you don't have diabetes. You don't have high cholesterol. I'm shocked. And I go, yeah, I guess. Me too. I told my roommates, I told Kamar and Jason that I had diabetes, and Kamar just goes, yep. Not the slightest bit surprising. He's like, yep. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I expected to, like I really didn't. I would have been surprised if I went in this morning and goes, yeah, you're good. So it's, I think it's the little bit of the kick in the pants that I need. And maybe I, haven't realized this already. Maybe it will, there's a genetic predisposition to diabetes in my family. So, maybe some of it is genetic, but the doctor looked at me and he goes, listen, if you were small and tiny like me, I would, and you had these levels of blood sugars and all that, he goes, then I would worry and go, well, fuck, there's nowhere for this diabetes to be coming from. It must be genetic. He goes, but you fat fuck, you've got, he goes, you got some room to lose it. So I like him. He even dropped an F-bomb in the consultation. So I'm like, I can get behind this guy. Hey, young dude. Young dude, good looking dude. So, I mean, that sounds weird, but I just mean like for a doctor, he's like the Scrubs guy Doesn't look like him, but just a young doctor, you know. Cool. Like I said, he gives a fuck. He's asking questions. He listens, and he tries to give it to you straight in advance. He's good about setting the expectations. So I'm happy. Dr. Girth in Ottawa, man. Can't have him. He's my fucking doctor. But no, good dude. I'm glad that I got somebody who's like, all right, let's get to some bottoms some shit, and let me tell you what you got to do. So that's been the week up until now, guys. So don't really know what else to say about it so far. Hey, send me an email. Like at this point, I would say, did you guys get anything cool for Black Friday? How was your fucking crazy weekend? You know, what sales did you pick up on? I got my big ticket item was I got the PlayStation VR helmet, the Move controllers, the camera, and Skyrim for like $4.99 or I think it was like $4.29, right? And normally all that shit's like $600. So I got a good price on it from Amazon. I'm excited to try it out and see how it is. There was some, like I said, it was right outside of EB Games. There was a lot of video games for like $10. So I bought a couple games that I probably won't play for 5-6 years, but at least I own them. And I picked up Fallout 4 Game of the Year, which I know will take forever and I will not play for some time, but at least I got the Game of the Year edition. And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it doesn't really matter. I just bought some video games. What did you guys buy? What did you buy for Black Friday? What are you hoping that you got? Like, again, just talk to me. Talk to me. What was your weekend like? What do you want for the holidays? What do you got your eye on? I'm kind of hoping, like I had my eye on the Apple Watch, you know, was thinking, I might want one of those motherfucking Apple Watches. Now that, you know, I've got the health thing, well, now I want to monitor my calories and my heart rate and things like that. Like I want to start losing weight and, you know, I'd like a Fitbit, but I kind of like the idea of it being incorporated with all my Apple ecosystem, whatever. Yes, Red, you fucking hate Apple. I know. I'll get the message. Android for life and all that shit. But as it stands, I want to live first. So, you know, once, that was a thing too. Let's go to your side for a second. I know you love Android. Some of you guys are Android people, right? You know, like the fruit slaves, like you call me. So, Google Homes were on sale this weekend for, I think, like $70 down from like $179, and they sold out in minutes everywhere. So Google Homes, Apple has not released their version of the Google Home, but Google's putting a big push out there. They want to be number one. They want to be in everybody's home, and by goddamn George, they got themselves in a lot of fucking people's homes because they are being purchased like fucking crazy. The what do you call it? Google Home Minis also sold out everywhere, and we're talking like sold out Walmart, Best Buy, online, Amazon. They sold the fuck out. So good for you, Google Home. It's basically like Siri with a speaker. I don't really have a huge grasp on it, but I do know that you can say things like, hey, Google, what's the weather like outside? And it'll tell you. Go, hey, Google, play music. And it just starts playing music because it's like a Bluetooth speaker as well. So, yeah, that was a big item. So I want to know what you guys got. What did you get this weekend? What did you see? Was there anything that you wanted to get that you missed out on? Something that was sold out that you couldn't get? What was out there, man? I want to know. Want to see what you were looking for, dude. Contact at onemanpodcast.com. You know, that's where you send it. You know, are any of you guys looking for gift ideas? My fucking eyes are grazing through, flyers and shopping places. I'm seeing all sorts of fun stuff. I saw something called Exploding Kittens, which was a card game, which my brother told me was garbage. He goes, it doesn't get good reviews, but I watched a YouTube video on how to play it and it looked like fun. You know, a lot of people are playing that What Do You Meme game, right? Buying that. That's a big holiday one. Codenames, a game that Chris has had referenced on this podcast before, which Crystal, myself, a few other people have since bought copies of and played. Very fun game. You know, what's the Bed Bath and Beyond big ticket item this year? You know, what are people getting at Home Depot? What's the big exciting thing there? What's the fucking book right now that's exciting? The all the bookstores that everybody wants. You know, besides wonderful titles from DK Publishing and, of course, our Uncle John's Bathroom Reader, especially the 30th anniversary edition, Old Faithful, right? Several different options out there, guys. I want to know what's on your list. What do you want to get? Hey, remember, everyone's listening to each other, right? We got all the nexus of friends. Well, what do you want? Write in and tell me. I've got a Secret Santa party coming up. A Secret Santa, Chinese Christmas, whatever it's called, where you buy the gift and everyone, you can either open a new gift or trade or steal or whatever it is. So I saw a few things today that I thought might be fun for that, but I'm trying to wait, bide my time, find something super fucking cool and get that out. But anyways, moving forward, guys, like I said, that was my week. I had fun. I hope you guys had a great time. I love shopping. I love, I guess it'll have to change, but I used to love going with my lady. She used to come with me. We'd put on our Christmas clothes and go out and shop. I'd put on my stupid Christmas sweater that she bought me. Oh, geez, I feel the emotions coming up. Yeah, she got me this silly Christmas sweater with the abominable snowman on it. And I used to put that on when we go Christmas shopping just to embarrass her. But I got nothing but compliments when I did it. I would do that. People like, yeah, bitchin' sweater, bro. So I want another stupid Christmas sweater this year. I think they're great, and I think that really a nice icebreaker with people. I think I want them to let me wear mine at the source. Jesus, I'm so sorry. I'm hoping that I can get one of those fucking things. Oh, my throat's getting dry. Because all the moisture is going to my tear ducts. But yeah, I used to love going like holiday shopping with Crystal. Right, go get a gingerbread latte or something like that. I'm gonna have to watch the fucking sugar now. But I might only eat fruits and veggies just so I can have those lattes when I go shopping. But I just love doing that. Go window shopping. Go to fucking Best Buy, Walmart, HomeSense, Chapters, Bed Bath and Beyond, and check out the EB Games and stuff like that. There was a lot of cool. I like this season. I'm a consumer. That's the problem. I like consuming. Right? No one would look at me and go, that guy doesn't look like he consumes. I consume like a motherfucking black hole, but I have fun doing it. And I just like I like the ideas and the creativity and stuff. And I like gift wrapping. I will show you guys how bitchin' and badass a gift wrapper I am in the coming weeks as I start accumulating items. Yeah. And start wrapping them. I love wrapping. I already bought all my wrapping stuff from Costco. I got like at least 20 different kinds of wrapping paper. I got shitloads of bows and ribbons and gift tags and all sorts of stuff like that. I can't fucking wait for Christmas. Yeah, still don't have my tree up, but yeah, there's been no urgency. I haven't been home in a week. All right, guys, let's move forward. Let's get to the sponsors here. The first sponsor, as always, are my wonderful partners at portablepress.com, Uncle John's Bathroom Raiders. And this week I chose to read from Uncle John's Curiously Compelling Bathroom Reader. Normally I try to link them together somehow with some sort of reason, but here's the thing. The only reason I picked that edition this week was because it's the 19th edition, and 19 is my lucky number. And I figured, you know what? With this diabetes diagnosis, I could probably use a little luck. So I'm gonna start going full steam ahead with all the veggies and all that fun stuff. Not fun stuff at all, but just trying to do some good things. So yeah, lucky number 19, Curiously Compelling Bathroom Reader from Uncle John. The article I chose to read is called Game Show Goofs. And it says, being on a game show may look easy from the comfort of your living room, but under those hot television lights, contestants' mouths sometimes disconnect from their brains. So the first example is Ann Robinson, and she asks, what insect is commonly found hovering above lakes? The contestant, crocodiles, was their answer. And that was from The Weakest Link. Alex Trebek, if a Japanese Isha doctor, Isha, and then in brackets, doctor, asks you to stick out your shitta, he means, contestant, what is your behind? That was from Jeopardy. Ann Robinson again, who is the only Marx brother that remains silent throughout all of the films? The contestant's answer, Carl. That was from The Weakest Link. Yet again, Todd Newton. Bourbon whiskey is named after Bourbon County, located in what state? Contestant, England. And that's from Press Your Luck. This was the puzzle, so this was on Wheel of Fortune. It's easier to understand visually, but it says Tom Hanks as blank Orest Gump. All right, we're missing one letter, blank Orest Gump. Contestant, Tom Hanks as Morris Gump from Wheel of Fortune. Richard Dawson. Name something a blind man might use. Contestant, a sword. That's from Family Feud. Eamon Holmes. Name the playwright commonly known by the initials GBS. Contestant, William Shakespeare? That's from National Lottery Jet Set. Steve Wright. What is the capital of Australia? And it's not Sydney. Contestant, Sydney, from the Steve Wright Radio Show. Bob Eubanks asked, what is your husband's favorite cuisine? The contestants, All in the Family, from the Newlywed Game. Kevin O'Connell, what moves? Contestant, a car. That's from Go. Never heard of Go. And then Richard Dawson, again from Family Feud, says, name an occupation whose members must get tired of smiling. The contestant, game show host. That's, like I said, from Family Feud. So that was game show goofs, guys. Just a nice, easy, quick little read. One pager at the bottom of the page, running feet, says Sean Connery has a tattoo that says, Sean Connery has a tattoo that says Mom and Dad, which is weird for James Bond to have on him because he's a bit of a mama's boy. Anyways, that was Uncle John's Bathroom Reader, curiously compelling bathroom reader from my partners at portablepress.com. As I mentioned, guys, their 30th edition Old Faithful is available in bookstores right now. Very, very cool bathroom reader. One is already in my collection. Want to mention too, it's at Costco, guys. It's at Costco for like half the price. So you want to save some money and get a pretty cool fucking gift, I would definitely say to pick up Uncle John's Old Faithful Bathroom Reader, their 30th edition. Great, great Christmas gift. Just fun little trivia. I don't need to talk it up, okay? If you listen to this fucking podcast, you know what's in these goddamn books. All right? I'm sick of having to fucking... All right, no, we're good. And then, of course, as always, my partners at Absolute Comedy and Summersby. I will mention that, guys, Absolute Comedy, the gift certificates that they have available in Ottawa, Kingston, Toronto, and, of course, anyone who may be living in the surrounding areas, is a great gift. All right, you give people dinner and show gift certificate. Wow, whistled right in your fucking ear. Sorry about that. You can give people dinner and show passes that take care of the whole night for them. So you just, nice little stocking stuffer or great gift. Give someone the gift of laughter. Absolute Comedy is the best live stand-up comedy from across North America, with locations in Kingston, Toronto, and Ottawa, Ontario. These comedians have been featured on Just for Laughs, Netflix, Comedy Central, CBC's The Debaters, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Conan, The Comedy Network, and much, much more. Go to absolutecomedy.ca to see this week's lineup. Planning a night out is easy with dinner and show packages available at all locations. Live comedy is a great choice if you're organizing a celebration, fundraiser, company outing, or corporate event. Want the show brought to you? They'll send comedians to your venue with performances tailored to your event, creating a night of laughs your guests will love and won't soon forget. So for showtimes, ticket prices, gift certificates, special shows, and more, head to absolutecomedy.ca. Again, that's absolutecomedy.ca for the best live stand-up comedy from across North America. The sun gives life to the orchard. The orchard gives life to the apple. The apple gives life to Summersby. Summersby is a delicious sweet taste of sunshine, imported across the ocean, all the way from Denmark. The people in Denmark are smarter, and so are you, if you drink Summersby. With flavors like apple, blackberry, pear, elderflower lime, red rhubarb, and a taste as regal as this fake accent, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And now, you can try them all in the Summersby Mixer Pack, available wherever fine beverages are sold. So go on and try for yourself the crisp, refreshing taste of Summersby. Your taste buds deserve it. Please drink resplendently. Oh yeah, and don't forget red rhubarb and their newest flavor, semi-dry. All of which, probably not a good idea for me to drink based on my recent diagnosis. I love my sweet, sweet Summersby. I think that's I'm saving a few things. All right, I'm still gonna have to be really good as long as I just fucking eat vegetables. I can't keep talking about it. It's fucking annoying and boring, probably. All I'm saying is I like my Summersby. All right, and a slow, sippable drink and a nice little what is it? Social situation. I can sit and have a couple little sips. You know, wet my lips with the fruity flavor of a delicious Summersby. But also a great thing to bring, guys. If you're going to holiday parties, why not grab one of Summersby's mixer packs? Right? You got the regular apple, pear, blackberry, elderflower, lime. Just all sorts of different flavors for you to enjoy. and a wonderful welcoming gift to bring when you're visiting friends over the holidays. And finally, my partners at DK Books, guys. I did not read a book this week because I was busy, right? I didn't have time. But what did I do? I went out and bought more DK Books because I fucking love those things. I was at Costco today, like I said, buying fruits and veggies. And the only thing in my cart that was not produce was DK's The Astronomy book, one of their newer titles. When I spoke with their marketing director a few months back, this was a book that was still just coming down the pipeline, and now it's here. So it's part of their series, Big Ideas Simply Explained, which are absolutely outstanding. If you Google Big Ideas Simply Explained, it will bring up the entire series. And like I said, I've got at least probably up to 12 books now in that series. The astronomy book, think of it like, I don't want to say it, I don't feel like this is 100% accurate, but it gives you an idea. It's like that Dummy series, something for dummies. Only the Dummy series is a lot of information. That's going to sound stupid. It's a lot of like almost instructions, information, black words on paper. DK, their brilliance, their style is, like I said, the imagery. So just flipping through their books, not only is it, yes, giving you big, as they call it, big ideas simply explained, they're giving you tons of imagery that keeps you engaged. So I don't know about you guys, but learning for me, like I can't just stare at words on pages. I can do it for a couple of pages, but then I'm done. I need a break or what have you. So, if you're like me and you need to learn something, maybe your first go-to is YouTube instead of, like forums. You Google something, you have the choice of reading through forums, or you can watch a video on how to do something. So I just want to say that the DK books are a great way of finding, like I said, I call them infotainment. You get information, but it's entertaining. It keeps you engaged. It's visually stunning. And as of at least today, when I was at the Costco in Ottawa, the astronomy book, the politics book, and the psychology book were all available. So in your local areas, guys, anywhere in North America, check out your Costco and see if you can find any of DK's Big Ideas Simply Explained books. They are outstanding. They've also got some other stuff available that I've mentioned previously. The animals book that they've done with the Smithsonian is out. A lot of their stuff that they did with Marvel and DC is available. They've got a great World War II collection. Again, all of these books are visually stunning. Tons of great information. If you know anyone who's into Lego and Star Wars, they've got their absolutely everything you need to know about Lego Star Wars, Ultimate Lego Star Wars Guide. So there's a ton of great shit out there, guys. Check them out. DK Books. They're available at anything Indigo Chapters and Costco as well. You can check out their website as well. They would be able to show you what you're looking for. Lots of great shit. All right, that's my sponsors, guys, and I love every last one of them because I talk at length about them. So this coming week, what have I got going on? I'm starting as soon as this podcast is done recording. I'm going to play the last episode of Telltale's The Wolf Among Us with my roommate Simon. We are both looking forward to that very, very much. Tomorrow I'm back at the Source, but I'm down to a few days this week. Not as many on the calendar week. So I'm there Wednesday. I haven't been there yet this week since finishing the PlayStation thing. So it's been kind of nice. I'm starting a new December promoting thing for the same company that I did the PlayStation stuff with, where I'll be doing wine tastings. Very exciting for that. I don't taste them myself. I'm letting other people taste wines. But I'm very excited about that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I've also got a show on Saturday night for Guildcrest Homes, a big company here in Ottawa and the surrounding areas that basically pre-builds homes and then assembles them after the fact. I got to perform for them a few years back. They had a great time, loved me, wanted to have me back, which is, again, super overwhelmingly, humbling, and it's great. It's great when I do a good job. I still, like I said, I can't believe anyone pays to hear anything I have to say. I can't believe you guys listen every week. But I love that people want to and stuff. It gives me a purpose. So, again, I don't normally go off about all my shows, but this group, they had a great time. I had a great time with them. They've asked me back. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. It's a little ways out of town, but fuck it. I love performing for this group, so I can't wait. That's going to be my Saturday night. And I think that's it. I start off again early next week back at the Source with some other things. I'm hoping to have some other adventures and some fun things to talk about with you guys this coming week. But as it stands, that's all I got coming up. A couple new things this weekend, and more days at the source. Let's see if it keeps the holiday momentum. Let's see if I keep that love and feeling for the source as I putter through the holiday season. And now on to your emails, guys. As I mentioned, as always, please know that you're all welcome to email in at any time about anything. I love reading your emails. It makes me feel like you give a shit what we're talking about. So my only email this week came in from my friend Vanessa, also known as Red, the one who calls me a fruit slave for using all Apple products, and she's all about the Android. So Vanessa writes, "Hey Josh, so you keep talking about the kids that work at the source as millennials. Those damn millennials and their crazy ways. Well, hate to break it to you, but if you Google it, we are the millennials. The term millennial actually refers to anyone born between the early 80s to mid 90s. Generation X and millennials are the same generation. We are called millennials because we grew up during the new millennium. The term you are looking for is post-millennials or Generation Z. They are born from mid 90s to mid 2000s. Well, fair enough, Red. I believe I did hear that one time that technically the millennials started in 1983, and my being born in January of 1983, I am like one of the first millennials. I am the fucking millennial beta. So you continue on. You mentioned it just snowed in Ottawa, and I managed to catch the Grey Cup this past weekend. Holy snow, it was a really good game. I think because the blizzard made it so challenging. A guy I know from college plays for Calgary, so it was cool to see him doing well in the CFL. He's been with the team 10 years now. His name is Charleston Hughes, number 39. We worked on a bunch of school projects together, and he always drove me crazy. Needless to say, glad I wasn't in the stands for that game. Yeah, it snowed like fucking crazy in Ottawa, but I was inside a mall. I had no idea. So we just came out and saw the snow everywhere and did the usual thing. Went, fuck. And then just went about our business. In our house, Christmas decorations go up after American Thanksgiving. Not so much because of it needing to be after Thanksgiving, but I just feel it's a good amount of time before Christmas to get to enjoy it without it dragging on forever. We like to do the new ornament every year too. Usually I try to theme it to some big event of the year. So far, that's been wedding, house, baby. 2017 was so boring in comparison. Well, you go ahead and put yourself a one-man podcast logo on a Christmas ornament and stick that up, because it's been a big year for that. All right, we rekindled, or you just put my face on something, because we rekindled our friendship via the magic of podcasting. But no, that's cool. I like the idea of the thing. I haven't got my tree up yet, and I want to, but nobody else in the house gives a fuck, so it's not happening just yet. You said, glad you were finally joining the Geek Culture Club. I fully embraced my geekiness about 4 years ago now, and I've never looked back. I actually think you were one of the few people who knew about my secret geekiness back in the day. I remember coming to your place to play the Herbs. Funny enough, EA just came out with The Sims 4 on console, and so I've been hearing a lot of reference to the Herbs this last week on gaming new channels. Brings back the memories. And then you said, ugh, Telltale Games, don't even get me started. Was so excited and played Wolf Among Us, but I played through it a second time and realized that your choices make no difference. I'm still waiting for a true choices have consequences game. Life is Strange is really good, but the new prequel of the game I'm really not liking. I'm really excited about Detroit Become Human, and I've heard great things about Heavy Rain too. I'm planning on starting a Twitch channel soon and hope to feature this type of game one night a week. I'll give you more details on my channel once it's up and running, but this is definitely my genre, so if you need any suggestions, let me know. One you can try that hasn't been brought up yet is Oxenfree. It's more chill, but it's got a sci-fi vibe to it. That's about it, I think. Keep on keeping on and hope you have fun at the PlayStation events. P.S. Still think it's bullshit they don't come to London. Red. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely let them know that, London is a market that exists and see if we can get you guys out there. We don't pick that stuff, but I will put it in my notes to let them know that, London has listened to the podcast and has mentioned that they would like a demo as well. In terms of the Telltale games, yeah, I noticed that they all they pretend to go in different directions, but really it's like, you can see where the cuts are, where if you say one thing, the person reacts and goes, that was rude. And then it cuts and goes, so anyways, we better get out of here. And you're like, so that whatever choice you made, it would have made a 2-second difference while they respond to that one thing. And then just keeps going along the same path it would have gone. I play them for the story. I really don't play them for the choice options, to be honest with you. There's been a few games where they've really tried to make a difference, like maybe different endings, but like that's really like the last cutscene. So you can just play the whole game and then YouTube the different ending based on your choice or whatever, if need be. Like it doesn't give you a fun playthrough. The game that Chris had mentioned last week, Until Dawn, that's the game that everyone says really makes a difference in the choices. If you are like in a Telltale game, if you're doing a quick time event where you have to press square, triangle, X, if you fuck up, you die, but then it just reloads you back before the beginning of the event. So there's really no real consequence. You just have to keep trying it until you get it. Well, with Until Dawn, it's like if you make an attempt at something and you fail, well, then you failed and you just continue on with the story that way with your failure as a result. So apparently that one has way more choices, way more different directions that you can choose. And I like the fact that it's horror too. I've played a lot of the Telltale games. I've played the first 2 Walking Dead games. I've played the Back to the Future game, the Jurassic Park game that they had. I'm right in the middle of playing the Batman one right now, the first one, which I'm really not liking. I fell asleep pretty much every time I've played it. So yeah, Batman. I started playing the Game of Thrones one. It didn't have me hooked. I've played Tales from the Borderlands, like a lot of different ones. So I do not play them because they give me a choice. I play them because I enjoy seeing the story. Wolf Among Us, of course, I've played too. I've already finished it. I'm playing it again, I think for the 3rd time, but this time on the PS4 with Simon. And again, I'm not seeing anything different at all. So, even this one, there's an option to kill a player. A character throughout the course of the game, which I didn't do when I played through both times, but this time, when I played with Simon, I let him make the decisions. And he thoroughly was like, yeah, kill them. And it has not made a difference to the story one iota. At the point where you get the option to do that, it never goes back to those characters ever again. So really it makes no difference. So anyways, yeah. Try Until Dawn. I think Oxenfree is one that I actually got free from PlayStation Plus at some point. But I will check out the games. A cool little side-scroller puzzle game that I saw recently that I think I'm going to pick up is called Little Nightmares. It looks like a lot of fun. If you've ever played the games Limbo or Inside, both from a company called Playdead, I believe, out of like Denmark or something. It's like side-scrolling sort of puzzle ones, but they've got a lot of there's almost nothing going on in terms of heads-up displays and maps and stuff. It's really just like solving puzzles as you go sideways. Lots and lots of fun. So I'm looking forward to Little Nightmares. I think there's another one called like Thimbleweed or Thumbleweed Park or whatever that looks like an old Leisure Suit Larry game with a lot of humor. I'll give you guys more as I go through these, but with freeing up some time, being at the source, being around tech stuff, being around PlayStation and video games and EB games and all that stuff, I wanna spend some time just nerding out. Playing board games now, getting reacquainted with my video game systems. Like I'm good to just be a fucking nerd, and I'm alone now. Who am I fucking trying to impress, right? So, anyways, I think that's it for this week, guys. As I mentioned, you're all welcome to send something in. Contact at onemanpodcast.com. Hope your Black Friday went great. Would love to know what you guys picked up and what you found fascinating, stuff that you're looking forward to over the holiday season. Remember, guys, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. And I try to put some content out there on those platforms that you don't necessarily get from the show. It's a nice little companion app for this podcast. So as always, I'm very grateful for you guys being out there. Sorry there wasn't a whole lot this week, and really all I did was just bitch about pregnant people, more humans. But that was my week. So I'll talk to you next week with more positive, more things to look forward to.